Welcome back to The Good Life, people, where this week we are going to be turning this complete and utter disaster zone into this. Well, at least it's sort of organised with the polytunnel. Welcome back to what feels like day 412 of the Great Garden Reset. I think it's actually day 4, but I've lost count by this point. Plans for today, if we can manage it before the rain. It's a bit weird because we've got lovely blue sky and there's some grey bits, so we're kind of just seeing how it goes. Plans to begin with are to try and get rid of that shrub, which is what G's working on very hard at the moment. We managed to buy a rotavator. Facebook Marketplace is 60 quid. Well happy with that. And we think it's also got the same plug as my dad's wood chipper, which is cool because he bought a wood chipper at an auction for 5 quid, but it didn't come with a plug. And we were like, okay, well, we'll get one. It's only 20 quid, but we think it's the same one. So that's a bonus. So we're hoping once that bush is out that we can then rotivate the ground a little bit. And hopefully as well, I want to try and put my polytunnel up today because I'm very excited and it's here. It's not a priority, but at the same score, welcome to gardening with ADHD. So that's the plan. Let's take you along for the ride. Just on the way to my parents' house. Again, seem to spend far too much time there, to be honest. But just on the way to our parents' house so we can pick up the chipper, the iron. What was the other thing we needed? The pickaxe to get the massive shrub out of the way, which is good. And also my wedding ring, which is very important. I said to my folks I was coming in to pick bits up. I purposely want to pick up my wedding ring. They look a bit mouldy. I might just compost them. Oh, and some Tesco's vouchers. It's very nice. So, Dad's shed of many things has many things in it. But unfortunately, a pickaxe doesn't seem to be one of them, which is very weird because we had seen it and he had said it's in there. So, I don't know. Don't know where it is. So, we will see if we can try and attack that shrub with something else. We have nicked the chipper though, so that's good. Just checking on my vegetables and look, I've got a cauliflower. That's actually come out in the last few days. I'm well happy with that. And it looks like there's some kind of pak choy type things there. I'm not quite sure. You can see my kale over there and broccoli. And then we've got some more cabbagey things around here. Another little head of broccoli there. Very, very impressed. Well happy with these. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drive with the boot open. That'll be alright. Yeah, good job, my love. Just having a look on the garden planner, so where the greenhouse is planned to look, because that's in reality where it's going to go, hopefully somewhere. I just want to see where exactly it's going in the space side of things. So, oh, you done it. Thank you, darling. He's just got rid of the bush. Well done. Was that hard work? Look at this. So these horrible monstrosities used to be there. Done a really good job there. Done that one and the little one at the back there. So now we can actually begin to rotivate over all this bit here and start to put the beds in. Very exciting. Thank you, darling. I'm going to have to blur that out. This is a family-friendly show and I'm going to have to blur that out. It's charming. It looks like the greenhouse starts 19 feet down the garden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the end of the gate there and I'm basically going to measure 19 foot down and then I've got to basically clear that bit there, the bit for the garden. So yeah, and that's where it's going to sit. So this is where the greenhouse is hopefully going to sit. And then eventually we're going to have these two sheds that you can see here and here. And this is obviously the pantry. So that's the plan. Let's see if we can give it a go. that space I've cleared is definitely going to be too small. This pile as well, I'm thinking this is probably going to be the beginning of my compost bin, although I wasn't planning to put a compost bin in too soon, but never mind. I've still got this one to sort out. It seems to be very buried here, so a little bit worried about that, but we shall see. We've got an old compost bin up there which seems to be doing something, so we'll figure that out. And lots of broken pots from the old owners, but it is what it is. So let's see how big this space is, and see if I've wildly underestimated my space, which I probably have. Great. So I've found some slabs. They're going to need to go, and it's not until you start moving things that you notice what's hiding underneath. I don't know if this is going to come across on camera, but it looks like that is fence. Oh, it doesn't look like that fence is in the greatest condition. There's obviously a tree here kind of keeping the fence up, so I think probably best thing is to actually leave the tree. I think is it ivy? You guys can tell me in the comments, is that ivy? Looks like ivy. But yeah, I'm going to trim this off as much as possible, like just take it back down a bit. Again, I'm going to measure from the fence down, and then see basically where the greenhouse is going to go. I'm 99.9% sure I've got to move those slabs. That's not a job I'm looking forward to be honest. They're going to be really heavy. However, good news is I have found a lot of these branches. Look at them. So they're fairly straight, and they've obviously been cut at some point, obviously not by me. So with these sticks, what I think I'm going to do, one of my lovely followers gave me an idea, is I'm going to try and build a little fence bit with them, rather than chuck them out or chip them down, because they look like the right sort of size. And I think if I lay them flat like there, kind of cut off a bit of the garden, but I think that'd be really nice. So I'm going to see what I've got and how I can play with it, but that's not a project for today. Oh, my brain would do all the projects if I could. But that's not a project for today. What I am going to do is just kind of gather them up somewhere for today. That sounds like a plan. I'm just having a look to see what the size is of the greenhouse that I've actually bought. And hopefully I'll be able to show you in a sec. I'm also fighting the clouds. It's a bit of a weird weather today. It keeps going sunny and then rainy and then sunny and then rainy. So yeah, we're kind of seeing how things go right now. But let me have a look and see what the size is for the greenhouse I actually bought. And then I can see how much of that space there is clear, ready to go. I really don't want to have to move those paving slabs yet, especially not on my own because G's already gone out. But we shall see. I really, really hope I don't have to move them. But we'll see. So it looks like I bought a 200 by, it says 200 by, 250 centimetre polytunnel. I don't know how many feet that is because I do everything in feet because I do square foot gardening. So that is, so I'm interested in the door. So we can see that here. We can see that here. This area here, this is the bit that I am interested in. Like, how wide is it from side to side? It is definitely beginning to rain, so I'm going to have to do this quickly. So 5 foot, just having a look, 180, 200 is 6.5 feet roughly. Okay, so I just need to pop over there and measure 6.5 feet, and it's 250 centimeters back, which is, I'm sure is an easy way of working this out, but just over 8 feet deep. So it's 8 feet by, oh, it's going to be huge. I've just seen how big it is. One of my skills in life is not measuring. So 6 feet across is actually quite wide. I did measure it, like we can see on the garden planner. Let me show you the garden planner. So we can see I did measure it. So this is my polytunnel. Let me, what did I measure it at? Oh, 9 feet by 6 feet. So the height is actually the door bit, and the deep and the width is the depth of the greenhouse. So I did measure it that way. Ah, but then again, my skills of measuring are limited. Okay, so this is the one that I bought, and the reason for it, I realised that buying a polytunnel walk-in greenhouse from everyone's favourite online Chinese retailer is probably not the most logical ideas. But reason being, I wanted something that I could get now, and finances are very limited. So currently this is the cheapest option, and that's fine. I am aware that it's probably only going to last about a season or so, or a year or so. I had one very similar in the allotment, and it lasted for just over a year, I think, before a wind particularly got it. But it was an incredibly windy allotment, so yeah, it's going to be fine for a year or so. What I'm planning at the end of its life, because I'm always trying to plan for the end of its life, whatever plastic wrap is not destroyed, it's probably going to get repurposed into smaller like cloches for the garden. And then the frame, which to be honest, it's never normally the frame that's ruined, it's normally the plastic. The frame I'm probably going to try and repurpose as a bit of a chicken run. So that's my plan with it. So it's not going to go to waste, but we're going to get it up and see basically how good it is or how bad it is. Hopefully it'll be all right. It should be all right for at least until the end of next year. That's my hope. We'll see. Bookmark this and come back in a year's time so you can tell me whether or not you're going to say I told you so in the comments. But yeah, that's my plan. So let's go and measure 200 by 250. It's definitely a lot bigger than I thought it was. Okay, that experiment showed us actually some good news. So it will fit where I kind of wanted it to. Bad news is I am actually going to have to move those paving slabs, those ones there, and they're really heavy. But one of those paving slabs, the one that's on top, is going to go in this space here, or actually probably both of them, 1, 2, to give us that little bit of extra space just for the front of the polytunnel, which is great, which does mean that this pile of stuff needs to move, and obviously this stuff needs to move as well, but that's another point. But it will fit up to where those paving slabs are, and they're not like, well, at least the top one is not cemented down, so moving it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just going to be really heavy. Great. I might go and grab a cup of tea first. I have a cup of tea and I've got a sense of renewed vigour. I've found some gloves and I've decided as soon as I finish this, I'm going to have to just go and move those 2 paving slabs. They need to be done. They're not going to move themselves. And then I can put my polytunnel up. But first, tea. What is good tea? Let's do this. I'm actually so proud of myself. I did it. That might even be G coming in and I can show him my strength. I've actually spent the last few months while we were at mum and dad's on a bit of a health journey, which I will share with you in other things. It's not the story for this, but I've been doing a little bit like the kettlebells. I have no idea if that helped, but they're really, really heavy. But the good news is they're in, they're down, they're good. I'm actually very, very proud of that. Right, now let's get this polytunnel out of the bag and get it up. Just started raining. Got some bits laid out. Oh, my lovely man is home. There you go, you can see him. It's literally just started raining. I'm going to call this the end of day 492 or whatever we are. No, I think it's day 4, isn't it? It feels like about day 6 million. But yeah, so at least I've got some of the bits out, but it's now raining, so I'm going to go in. I'm not going to be able to finish this today. And the sky doesn't look too happy. That monstrosity, I don't know. There's something about it that I'm kind of liking, but I think it's just Stockholm syndrome. I'm going. Goodbye, people. I will see you in the next day. Bye.